Hi guys, it's Wolverine here, guys. Hope you guys doing okay. Now, the Pentecostal group has come out, the owner has come out, and she has confirmed that this month she will be actually releasing the funds. All right, so they all got appointments actually to the bank, right? And this will all happen actually after Easter. All right, that has been confirmed by the owner, of that platform. All right, so maybe that's the trigger that we're after. I don't know, guys. All right, just hold on. It's not much longer to go, guys. That's all I can say. Bye-bye. Hi guys, it's Wolverine here, guys. It is Tuesday morning here, guys. It's around about 8:20 in the morning. Guys, just letting you know, guys, that things are definitely moving. Right, everything's gold back right now. The QFS has been activated, right, and we're hearing actually from some of these sources saying that some bondholders will actually be liberated this week. So we'll wait and see what happens, guys. But I think everything's going to be actually happening actually after the resurrection. All right. Most banks are closed during this week. So I think after resurrection, after Easter Sunday, I think we'll be able to see something glorious. All right. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Let's get into the news banner, start through it. There will be quite a few questions I will have to leave hanging today because I have limited amount of time. But we have a lot of information, and one that is, I guarantee you, going to get you guys super excited. At least one that is going to get you super excited. Parliament faces a constitutional challenge. Ready laws await vote, and fate is in the hands of the blocks. What are they trying to tell us? They're telling it is ticking down, and they have a short time period to make all of these changes before they get into the election cycle. So they are very pressured. So they don't have a constitutional crisis, can handle their elections. Look for a lot of activities, what they're telling us. Look for budget, HCL, a lot of agreements suddenly occurring. This is important in my book because they are setting the stage right now. Economic, it's not possible to reduce the commercial dumping in Iraq. I've been talking about this. They simply don't have the manufacturing base yet, so they are going to have trade goods coming from out of country, which causes trade imbalances. It is a mad scramble to get manufacturing up to speed and investment in manufacturing. In Iraq, we're doing the same thing in the U.S. This appears to be a global trend, which personally I think is a good thing. U.S. Congressman members visit Baghdad for key talks with the Iraqi Prime Minister. This is after all of the business folks. Now we are adding the political to speed up this massive amount of investment in Iraq from U.S. investors. Iraq inks a deal to develop subsea oil pipeline. We're talking about upping the capacity to another, should I say, overall oil capacity to be able to pump another 2.4 million barrels per day. These offshore oil pipelines go out so that they can unload tankers. Well, in this case, load tankers, so they can send it and sell it on the global market. Big dollars for Iraq, guys. Big dollars for Iraq. Here's another fun one for you. As we have Rubio sitting down with Barzani, talking about just how things are going and how important the Kurdish region is to U.S. Continuing the friendship, the alliance, and how important it is to protect those U.S. investments and Iraqi funds coming in from the Kurdish region. In other words, get the pipelines pumping. That's what it's all about because they need it to support a new value. It gets even better, guys. Here's your fun one. Plunging oil prices jeopardize Iraq's budget. Will the government resort to dollar revaluation? In other words, with oil falling, Iraq is faced with some things if oil doesn't change quickly. They may have to go ahead and revalue their currency. Yeah, being talked about right here in the news in Iraq, talking about in the cycle and how they're going to have to make some adjustments or they are going to have to revalue. Right there, guys. See? Revaluation. They're talking about in Iraq. Right out in the open. They're not hiding it. They're discussing it. That they may go ahead and pull that trigger. If that doesn't get you a little bit excited, you're dead. Right? Open conversation again. Right there. we're going to have to revalue, which we've been waiting for and excited about, right? Told you guys, this is pushing us forward, not backwards. I wanted to share this one because this is something we're going to start seeing in Iraq as well. April 18th is the final day to exchange the 5th issue of Kuwaiti currency, and you have to exchange it with the central bank. Simply a reminder that the de-dollarization and the deleting of zeros program will lead to this down the road. We will have a limited amount of time to turn in currency before the banks will start making them unacceptable. Their central bank will. I just wanted to show you that this mechanism exists for nations that change values. Expect it. Speaking of changing values, the Argentinian peso, where's the currency headed after the FX or exchange regime overhaul? They are going on to the free market after all of their changes. This is another currency that will be changing values soon, it appears. And again, they are talking about it right here, mainstream news. Reuters doing an article. Look for positive changes coming to countries. How many? That's 3 in just this morning's news. Beverly, they didn't say down the road. They just, well, which one are you referring to? Argentina or Iraq? Iraq's simply setting the stage. So nobody's surprised when it happens and supportive.
Things are moving. It's crazy. The whole tariff thing, did it drive the countries to come together and talk? Yes. Was it the absolute perfect or right thing to do? I don't know. I don't think so. I think there could have been different ways to do it, but we're definitely getting close. And I, again, broken record, my wife was in here. She was like, "Hey, you said that last week." I'm like, I know, but Iraq is literally on the verge. The Supreme Court approved the payment of the salaries, which means they have to approve the budget, which means they have to have the numbers in, and in order for the United States to take part in the bigger RV GCR, there has to be a declaration of an asset-backed currency. All these people are like, "Oh, we went asset-backed 3 months ago." Well, okay, but if it's not public, it doesn't count. It just, maybe that's true. Maybe we've been trading internationally in asset-backed currencies for the last year, which is another thing I hear. But there's no way to prove that, and you can't find me a banker that will take a picture of our asset-backed currency and send it to you. It's not out there, so that means it hasn't been official. It's not a real thing. It is all speculation. But I believe that day is coming. Ironically, I think XRP and Ripple are playing a huge part in this transition or disclosure of what's happening. But there was a.
Okay, so I was asked to keep quiet about some things last week. I see no reason to keep quiet about them anymore. The reality is that I talked weeks ago about how there was a forcing mechanism built into the agreements with Iraq on when they would revalue their currency, that certain 3-letter agencies had the ability to force a revaluation of their currency if they failed to do so. They continually have failed to do so. They were scheduled to have revalued on Thursday. They did not. They were given 24 hours. They failed again on Friday to revalue their currency. They are just being obstinate. They are playing shenanigans. So I was told the issue was forced. That generates a 72-hour window, which ended approximately 82 minutes ago, and there is no revaluation. So once again, all I have is that they are refusing to cooperate, that nobody apparently is forcing their hand, and we sit here with kind of nothing. There is rumors of bond people being paid, but for the first time, my 2 bond guys that I'm following are in disagreement. One says he still expects something to happen this week. and another guy like tomorrow, and another guy says he doesn't expect to receive his funds until the end of the month. You have people saying stuff like, oh, they'll do it on Easter because of the Saint Germain Fund. I would like to remind you, they have blown through every single so-called deadline for Easter and all these spiritual opportunities and Ramadan. They've blown through every single one for the last 10 years. So, and there have been dozens every year. So we're in a situation where it should have happened a long time ago. It should have happened months ago. It hasn't happened, and nobody appears to be willing to force it, is where I sit with the information that I have. And that's kind of where we're at, and at least from my perspective. So I don't know why these people are not interested in finishing this off. The people who are in charge, whoever they are, it may be Donald Trump, it may not be. But, we had the perfect storm last week under which to slip in an RV, and they didn't do it. So here we sit, brokenhearted. That's all I got. And I hate to be pessimistic, but I can't tell you anything other than what I know, which is it's not like there's even anybody saying, oh, well, they missed the deadline today, but they're going to do it tomorrow. I got nothing coming in like that. So not to put all the weight on you, Jen, but I mean, do you have, I guess we'll find out what you got in meditation and where we're at. Cause I honestly don't know where we're at. It's not like I'm saying we're not going anywhere. I'm just saying, I don't know where we're at. I don't know where we're at because every deadline that I was told about has passed. So maybe you can give us some clarification on where we are at. Let's wait and see. Your caption and go, baby.
All right. Hi. This is Jentel. Now, I didn't get a whole lot because we're at a place where there isn't a whole lot. And there's a lot that we don't know about. This is Jentel Interdimensional Meditation for 1425. Jesus and the whole team. The dress was navy blue. RV News. I asked, when will we get notifications? Jesus walked up and took my hand, and we faced the team of archangels. And Gabriel spoke, and he said, tomorrow. Best case scenario is tomorrow. It's probably going to be Wednesday. Zurich is at a standstill. Technical problems, rerouting the transfers, bottleneck. Tomorrow night is the current goal for notifications. That is the current goal. Coming in the news. Now, I didn't have a lot of time, but I didn't see a whole lot coming in the news. But I did see the side of this silver, and I think it's red, blue, what looked like a train. Okay, it looked like a passenger train. It could have been a bus, but it stopped, and there's a problem. It possibly hijacked. I see that coming in the news. There will be talk about a new plan or dream for the USA that is revealed or mentioned this week. I see flights in the air, and I heard something about flight grounded. They may be looking for someone. I don't know, but there's something going on with flights still. And people really need to start questioning why we're having so many, flight problems. I mean, there's just too many to ignore. What the hell's going on? Okay, so, and then I see another Rose Garden speech coming. Something's going on in the Rose Garden within the next week. And that's it. So basically, it's more technical problems. It's more bottleneck. It's more trying to get, really said Zurich. So maybe that's holding it up. Maybe they've got too much going on over there that they haven't finished. I don't know. But I think right now where we're at is I still see a screen, like a back screen with rates on it. They're moving. They're changing. And that will go on the Forex. And that's where we're at. I feel like we're just waiting to do that. I feel like I'm back here at Zurich and there's some kind of problem over there where they thought everything was, going smoothly and they're going to get finished up. So it's got to be bond people over there. I'm not sure. I just know that there's nowhere else to go but up. And so we wait. Now we've got another Wednesday coming. Somebody's been talking in chat about another 5.1 earthquake in San Diego County Estates. If it's country estates, that's Ramona. Let's see. We did hear it would be Wednesday after an earthquake. So I don't know. All I know is that it's coming. All I know is there's nowhere else to go but up. There's nowhere else to go but next. And I feel like people are trying really hard worldwide to get this thing done. And that's Jentel for today.
Yeah, I mean, that explains it, because on the news side, if it's just technical problems, then nobody would really know.
Nobody's going to know about
what happened. Yeah, nobody knows what happened. Like, why didn't it go through when it was supposed to go through? And if it's just technical issues, then it's technical issues. So, but like on the news side, nobody knows that there was a technical issue. And I think people are probably a little cynical about that.
Well, that's probably the only way they could try to stop it right now is some kind of hacker somewhere. Think about all the hackers they have worldwide.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't look at any messages this morning. I didn't look at any other because I wanted to go and get a fresh read. So
right. Well, and so again, tomorrow into Wednesday for notifications sounds fine to me. And once again, thank you for lifting us all up by telling us what you get. And
Donald Trump got 50 countries to offer 0% tariffs on US goods in 5 days.
Just finally, I want to get your thoughts on something you told me, John, and Lisa in February, which was that in your old world, you would be that person with your ear against the door trying to understand what policymakers were doing so then you could predict where financial markets would go. In this moment where we hear from top executives constantly, today it was the Goldman Sachs CEO, last week it was Jamie Dimon, and this uncertainty, especially around tariff policy, what advice would you be giving to your old self?
To look at the whole policy, because again, not you, but others in the media can pick one factor. So right now it's tariff, but we have. You mentioned we have tax coming up. We have deregulation. So it's a the leg stool, and I would try to think about what's happening. The tariff sequencing was always going to be first. The tax bill's going very well, and I think I've been pleasantly surprised at how quickly that's moving along. And then deregulation from our area on the financial side and in the rest of the economy, that takes a little longer, but that will start kicking in September, October, in the fall, and those are going to be very powerful.
All right, so decode this with me. This is insane. Holy smokes. All right, so HSBC, that is one of the top financial companies for transactions and many other things, for all these bigger stores, bigger corporations. They are going to be suspending services on the 20th, Easter. Okay, well, hold on. First, I want you to look at the bottom right. Easter shopping blackout. Here's a list of all the stores that are closed on April 20th. Okay. That's pretty big. Now, this QCOM right here has always been one of the hardest on the Q board to figure out. It's boom, 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 a week to remember. There's more spaces in the booms. So Trump has been many times referring this week to booms, right? Okay, so if you break this down, boom is the first week of April. Second boom is the second, maybe. A week to remember. Definitely been a week to remember. Dark to light on the third boom. Fourth boom, fourth week of April, 20th. Blackout necessary. Oh, wow. I have a feeling this is much bigger than just doing some maintenance on the financial system. This might be an overhaul to integrate the new system. Oh, wow. Buckle up. Love y'all.
NYSE and Nasdaq markets will be closed on Friday. The bond market has an early close at 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, April 17, 2025. Arab Times, Kuwait. April 18 is the final day to exchange the fifth issue of Kuwaiti currency Central Bank, 13th April 2025. Fifth issue of Kuwaiti currency exchange ends on April 18, says CBK. Kuwait City, April 13, the Central Bank of Kuwait, CBK, announced on Sunday that the grace period for exchanging fifth issue banknotes with the sixth issue will end in 6 days on April 18, 2025. After this date, holders of the fifth issue notes will no longer be eligible to exchange them. In a press statement, the CBK clarified that the exchange process must be carried out in person at the bank's main building. Individuals are required to bring valid personal identification and complete the designated form for the transaction. The CBK also noted that the banking hall at its headquarters operates from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. during official working hours. No replacement requests will be accepted after the deadline, which falls on Friday, April 18, 2025, the statement concluded. MarkZ has posted it on X. It'll be 9 hours ago. We will be done with our invisible enemy, deep state that slave people, meaning financial freedom. And this post by Tina Zimmerman, Easter is April 20. Hopefully this year. Freedom fighters.
To ease the guidelines and open things up to very large sections of our country as we near the end of our historic battle with the invisible enemy. We're going for a while, but we win. We win. I said earlier today that I hope we can do this by Easter. I think that would be a great thing for our country, and we're all working very hard to make that a reality.
Swisher 1776 on X. This was posted April 14. Alert, alert, alert. Arcadia RV. US Congress meets with Kurdistan PM to discuss resumption of oil, bilateral relations and new cabinet. The US Congress also met with Sudani today. Happy Palm Sunday. The new region, Kurdistan region PM Mazura Bazani on Sunday received a US Congress delegation. They exchanged views on the situation in Iraq and the region and enhancing bilateral relations, while stressing the need to form the new Kurdish government cabinet statement. Erbil, Baghdad relations and the importance of the resumption of the Kurdistan region's oil were another axis of discussions. We follow oil. Which year will they start export from KRG? Kurdistan 24E. Plunging oil prices jeopardize Iraq's budget. Will the government resort to dollar revaluation? Economic expert Ahmad Al-Ansari noted that while Iraq's reserve fund is generally safeguarded for emergencies, adjusting the value of the Iraqi dinar relative to the US dollar remains a plausible option. MarkZ posted on X 10 hours ago. Remember, Trump said it before. When he said the first 100 days, everything will be done for crypto. That 100 days deadline is April 30th. They will get it done in 100 days, meaning any day within the 100 days.
Presidential Advisory Council. Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days.
Iraq isn't rebuilding, it's rewriting its operating system. In 2023, they quietly stood up a national AI team, not for show, not to follow global trends, but to take control of what matters most: information, infrastructure, independence. This isn't a pilot project, this is a strategic directive. A national AI dashboard fed by real-time data from every ministry, a trained domestic AI workforce, no foreign dependence, AI driving energy, water, food, healthcare and tourism, systems that can self-optimize, predict risk and adjust without bureaucracy. This isn't modernization, it's new rule, sovereignty. Why now? Because they know the reset is coming. But when the switch flips from analog to digital, from fiat to tokenized, they won't just plug in. They'll already be running. Iraq isn't just returning to the world stage, it's preparing to lead it. With a fusion of ancient legacies and AI-calibrated precision, the oil is still there, but the new currency, it's intelligence. Okay, but we're still waiting. Forwarded from Wolverine. Bombshell. Trump's executive order confirms that GESARA mandates are now in effect. Exchange centers activated, biometric confidentiality agreements in place, quantum access cards distributed, military courts in progress, digital gold wallets ready, and the Starlink-controlled global transition in full progress. God bless you all, Wolverine. The Starlink, well, apparently, where did I read it from? Anyway, regarding the NDAs. Now, after you sign the NDA, the Starlink will track every kind of communication. So that's why it's really important that you just go on a long holiday, because it will track everyone. It'll track all social media. Just go on a long holiday to a far, far away island. The White House, briefings and statements. Presidential message on Holy Week 2025. The White House, April 13, 2025. This Holy Week, Melania and I join in prayer with Christians celebrating the crucifixion and resurrection of our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ, the living Son of God, who conquered death, freed us from sin, and unlocked the gates of heaven for all of humanity.
UBI distribution, exploring the synergy between GESARA, quantum phones, UBI, and quantum technology in the Starlink era. The Q Starlink and GESARA phones are leading a global revolution in finance and communications. Quantum technology and the distribution of universal basic income, UBI, are dismantling corrupt systems, unleashing unstoppable financial freedom and global connectivity. The quantum era has arrived. Are you ready? The old world is crumbling, and a new one is emerging. The corrupt systems that controlled humanity, manipulated financial structures, censorship, and lies, are being torn down. At the forefront are Q Starlink phones and GESARA. These are not just technological upgrades, they are weapons aimed at the elite who have held power for far too long. The future isn't coming, it's already here. Q phones are about to end centralized control. They are not just phones, they are your gateway to a decentralized future, preloaded with teller wallets for UBI payments. Forget traditional banks, this is the financial revolution we've been waiting for. Starlink, powered by military-grade technology, is the backbone of the quantum financial system. Its global satellite network secures your transactions and ensures no corrupt entity can manipulate the system. With Starlink, censorship ends, and communication freedom reigns. This is more than just internet, it's liberation. This system is protected by Project Odin, ensuring the cabal cannot stop it. It's a revolution backed by military-grade security, beyond the reach of any corrupt force. Stellar Blockchain is the people's network for decentralized, incorruptible global wealth. It will manage the flow of assets when the old financial system collapses. This is about wealth redistribution on a global scale. No more banks manipulating currencies, no more elite control. The Q phone is your ultimate weapon in this new world, connecting you to the quantum financial system through Starlink. With teller wallets, you control your wealth and bypass traditional financial systems. This is a financial reset. The stock market collapse is coming, and when it happens, Stellar will absorb the wealth and redistribute it fairly among humanity. The quantum revolution is here, and the elite can't stop it.
Arcadian Light Order on X. 12-strand DNA teaser. You were never meant to stay limited. The junk in your DNA is divine tech. 12 strands equals 12 keys to quantum perception, interdimensional memory, akashic, cellular regeneration, telepathic communication, timeline command, creator level manifestation. This isn't science fiction, it's original design. Your dormant strands are waking up. Love is misinterpreted as an emotion. In reality, it is a state of consciousness, a way of being in the world, a way of seeing oneself and others. By Dr. David R. Hawkins.